Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Swallowed Star 2 episode number 81 based on novel. So let's start. The soul-clearing liquid spreads naturally as soon as it enters the mouth, naturally affecting the soul. Luofeng was stunned. Although he had learned some of the functions of the spirit-clearing liquid from his master, Luofeng was still a little shocked at this moment. Although the Hunyuan crystal spirit fruit was magical, it only increased the thinking speed by 20 to 30 times, and maintained a very high state of comprehension. It can clear the mind and spirit, mainly targeting the soul. It is a cleansing of the soul, cleaning away many distracting thoughts. In the infinite space of the treasure land, the mind is often polluted when fighting with the wills of those spiritual creatures. I have washed away these pollutants time and time again to hone myself. Luofeng murmured, but in fact, washing away external pollution is relatively easy. Washing away one's own distracting thoughts is much more difficult. Before I came to the infinite space, I practiced the Great Destruction Refining Heart method for a long time, which was to hone myself, but the progress was extremely slow. But this spiritual purifying liquid can continuously cleanse one's own distracting thoughts while the effect of the spiritual liquid lasts. The soul is the core of a practitioner. After his soul began to be deeply cleansed, Luofeng realized the benefits of this state. I do have too many distracting thoughts. With the help of the spiritual purification liquid, Luofeng quickly sorted out his endless thoughts over the long years. These countless thoughts also constituted Luofeng's consciousness. These thoughts were chaotic, and naturally his mind was also chaotic. But the thought itself is also a part of Luofeng. The so-called washing away of distracting thoughts does not mean erasing them. If you want to completely erase them, then you have to erase part of yourself. Although erasing part of the self-consciousness is still a good thing. A way of cultivation. But Luofeng was unwilling to choose. The real way to wash away distracting thoughts is to sort them out. Sort out countless thoughts in different systems. Some thoughts are distracting thoughts when practicing the origin of life, but they can be helpful when practicing the origin of destruction. Some thoughts are the key to a stronger mind, but they are not necessarily beneficial to spiritual practice. Thoughts are not simply good or bad. Even at a certain moment, the change of spiritual cognition will immediately affect countless thoughts. The past refinement of one's own soul and the cognition of the soul will be completely overturned and started all over again in an instant. Therefore, the further the spiritual will progresses, the more difficult it is to improve. The spiritual cleansing liquid seems to have allowed me to enter a higher level state, to observe my countless thoughts and to cleanse my mind again. With the help of the spiritual liquid, Luofeng initially cleansed his thoughts. Take a look at the robbery of beasts again. The body far away in the infinite space opened the volume of the map of robbery beasts, given by Emperor Ming. Emperor Ming, the emperor who cultivated the Hunyuan bloodline, but his mind and will were calm and peaceful. He did not have the strong emotions such as wantonness and madness that were common in the Hunyuan bloodline system. Moreover, the other party's mind and will were the most terrifying Luofeng had ever seen. That was a will far beyond his, undoubtedly beyond the ultimate realm of the God King. Wow! This black and red scroll slowly opened. A dark and crazy aura was blowing towards him, and Luofeng saw a picture of a calamity beast that he had never seen before. What is this? Luofeng only took a preliminary look and determined that this painting corresponds to the 5th to 10th levels of the 3000 Void Tribulation Beasts diagram. The robbery beast map sold outside can be viewed together with the void map to view the complete 3000 void beast maps. But it only contains some shallow charm. Although the robbery beast image was more realistic, Luofeng only understood a limited amount from it. This painting. Luofeng was shocked at the first sight. Although it only corresponds to 6 layers of the map of 3000 void tribulation beasts, its artistic conception is many times stronger. In a trance, Luofeng saw the weak robber beast and cautiously turned to its powerful companion, but the powerful companion asked it to risk its life to hunt for food. However, in the end, the food was eaten up by the powerful companion, and not a single bite was given to it. It is too weak at the moment and must be protected by powerful companions. It learned to please the strong, learned to make friends, learned to hunt the weak, and learned to eat secretly. But its so-called companions, so-called prey, also want to hunt it. It survives disaster after disaster, either by strength or luck. It is also growing rapidly. Whether it is strength or mind, it is getting stronger. Weak robbery beast. Luo Feng saw the period when the Calamity Beast was struggling the most. At this period, the Calamity Beast was too weak, and there were too many things that could kill it. Being exploited by the powerful, you have to endure it. Because if you are dissatisfied, you will be killed and eaten. The prey may counterattack and kill it. The threat of death is everywhere. Tempering oneself in the darkness, both the inner mind and the outer strength are becoming stronger. Luo Feng glimpsed the method of spiritual cultivation hidden in this picture. This method of cultivating the mind and will was created by Emperor Ming based on his greatest insight into the shadow of the robbery beast. The diagram of the Calamity Beast that he passed on was only the most superficial one and seemed to be a complete diagram of the Calamity Beast, but the pursuit of completeness made it worse. A certain short segment of the images in the shadows of animals and animals stimulated Emperor Ming the most, but his own growth was almost completely in line with it. He felt it the most deeply, and after continuous painting, he realized the method of spiritual practice. He is only willing to give the truly core Calamity Beast map to practitioners he likes. He was right about Luo Feng. Luo Feng rose from a weak position and experienced life and death struggles time and time again when he was young. He could also understand that state of mind. Although it was not as cruel as the robbery beast environment, he could already resonate with it. Thus, Luo Feng's soul has merged into the painting, transforming into a Calamity Beast and experiencing the trials of darkness. When you are weak, sometimes you have no way out and can only survive by trying to survive. Weakness is the original sin. Benefits are eternal. The experiences of animals and beasts were darker and more cruel, and also made Luo Feng's heart harder. Food country, no form city. Where did this Luo he come from? He has no ethnicity. The only people close to him are an old servant Luo Sa, a man named Yuan, and a disciple Mo Yu Qing Yang. Wu Xiong Patriarch pondered, could he be the reincarnation of some old guy? But I've never heard of any old man in history who practiced the three origins of life, destruction, and matter. Wu Xiong Patriarch pondered, in infinite space, he may have opened up a fourth branch of the origin. Ancient beings almost all focus on one avenue while practicing three avenues. In the entire origin continent, such god kings are very rare. Each of them is a prestigious existence, and no one has ever been heard of falling. If it's not reincarnation, then it's really an extraordinary talent. He has no ethnicity. There are two possibilities. One is that he has hidden his identity and his own ethnicity. The other is that he is from the 3000 original universes and his ethnicity is all in his hometown. Wu Xiong Patriarch speculated. Although there are relatively few practitioners from the 3000 original universes in the origin continent. But because they all climbed up from the bottom, they all have great potential. Among the ancient beings, many came from the original universe. Yuan lives in Xiangjie City, next to Luo He. Luo Sa and Mo Yu Qing Yang are now away. The Wu Xiong Patriarch's eyes were cold, an old servant and a disciple, they should mean something special to you. Since you destroyed the opportunity of the ancestors' infinite space, I will punish you by killing your servant and your disciple. When I find your tribe in the future, I will destroy your entire tribe. Ancestor Wu Xiong has a strong murderous intent. As a powerful god king of the first level who was not from the two royal families, he paid countless prices and even consumed some of his own friendship with the Lord of Qiankun State to get this opportunity. He was even willing to pay compensation, but Nero he refused to give up and was determined to destroy his body and cut off his chances. Shadow Heaven. Ancestor Wu Xiong immediately contacted the extremely mysterious force in the origin continent, the Shadow Heaven realm. Formless God King, who are you going to deal with? Yin Qianjie responded. Shadow Heaven Realm, the first assassination force in the origin continent. No one knows who its members are. All they know is that Shadow Heaven Realm's internal members once had an Emperor-level combat force take action, which indeed alarmed the entire Origin continent and made all parties realize the horror of Shadow Heaven Realm. Because only 2 ancient countries have emperors and monarchs in public. The Shadow Heaven Realm was able to dispatch a powerful emperor. Was this mysterious being one of the emperors or monarchs of the 2 ancient countries? Or was he some other mysterious and powerful being? No matter what, this also confirms the status of Shadow Heaven Realm. The great sage Luoha has a servant Luosa and a disciple Noyu Qingyang. I need you from the Shadow Heaven Realm to take action and kill this servant and disciple. The Wuxian Patriarch sent the message. Do you need us to try to assassinate the great sage Luohe? Although he has a clone in Chudu, we are still 50% sure. Ying Qianjie said. Wuxian Patriarch asked, what's the price? He has an avatar in Chudu, so naturally the top members will take action. It will cost 1,000 chaotic origin crystals or something of equivalent value. Ying Qianjie said, it is stated in advance that there is only a 50% chance of success, and the treasure will not be returned if it fails. 1,000 Hunyuan crystals. Ancestor Wuxian's heart trembled when he heard it. Is this an acceptable price for a divine king of the 1st level? Just kill Luo his servants and disciples, said Patriarch Wuxian. His servant, Rosa, is in the Chaos Realm. It takes 50 billion cosmic sands to kill him. His disciple Mo Yu Qingyang is the eternal true God. As Luo his only direct disciple, it takes 10 billion cosmic sands to kill him. Servant Rosa, he may be reincarnated. Shadow Heaven said, if you are willing to pay 500 billion cosmic sands, we can ask high-level members to kill all of Rosa's clones with a single thought. Of course, according to the rules of my Yingtianji, all assassinations may fail, and the fees will not be refunded. Yingtianji said. The Wuxian Patriarch was not surprised. Although the Shadow Heaven Realm was not nice to hear, it was always trustworthy in its actions. The price was not expensive. As long as enough benefits were given, the Shadow Heaven Realm would definitely send enough forces to assassinate. No, just 60 billion cosmic sands, said the Wuxian Patriarch. He doesn't mind this expense. But 500 billion cosmic sands? Ancestor Wuxian also had to think about it. With so much money, he even planned to do it himself. As a prestigious being, he also wanted to save face. He specifically used dirty tricks to kill Chaos Realm and an eternal true God. If the news got out, he would lose face, so he let Shadow Heaven Realm do it. In the Shadow Heaven Realm, we don't mind doing dirty or tiring work. Please pay 60 billion cosmic sands as soon as possible. Once we receive it, we will take immediate action. Ying Qianjie said. At this moment, in the infinite space of the treasure land, Luo Feng was immersed in the comprehension of the Calamity Beast diagram when suddenly a mark on the palm of his left hand flashed. Huh? Luo Feng also noticed it. There is information coming from the palm mark, his evaluation has been updated. Trialist, Luo Feng from the Origin continent. Fighting with the secret method of the God King, the new avenue is rated as medium. 100 points of reward. You have not opened up a new avenue branch, and you still need to work hard. The body of the Chaos Realm has reached the ultimate will of the God King, and the mental will rating is superior. 10,000 points are awarded. Your mental will is quite excellent, please continue to maintain it after becoming a God King. The total bonus points are 10,192.34 points. When Luo Feng realized the first God King level secret method of the Great Way of Life and Death, he received 100 reward points. After that, he realized more God King level secret methods, but no more rewards. The ultimate will of the God King? Luo Feng smiled. Apparently, according to the judgment of the infinite space, he had finally reached the threshold of the ultimate will of the God King. The reward points are really high. Luo Feng was a little surprised, a full 10,000 points. After being in the infinite space for so long, Luo Feng received a total of 10,100 reward points for his spiritual will, 100 points for the new avenue, and 22.34 points for killing native creatures. The total points gained were 10,222.34. It costs 30 points to redeem World Life Form, leaving 10,192.34 points. I've become much richer all of a sudden. Luo Feng felt that opening up avenues and breaking through the mind and will were the best ways to gain reward points, which were much more than killing native creatures. Luo Feng sensed the mark on his palm and began to check the infinite space treasure house. In the treasury, you can view resource information that does not exceed your own reward points. Today's treasury information has naturally changed a lot. The first inheritance information is the first volume of 3 volumes of Hunyuan formation diagram, perfect level inheritance, requires 10,081 reward points to redeem. It is necessary to practice Space Origin Avenue to the limit of the second level of God King before you can hope to get started. 9 realms of destruction, the second and third realms of the perfect inheritance require 10,000 reward points to exchange, corresponding to the second realm of God King. The beginning road, the first part, perfect inheritance, requires 10,000 reward points to exchange, corresponding to the second realm of God King. The avenue of material origin and the avenue of infinite origin must all reach the second realm of God King before there is hope of entering. 8 tribulations life form, the fourth and fifth tribulations require 10,000 reward points to exchange, the ultimate realm of God King. The second chapter of World Life Form, special inheritance, requires 3,000 reward points to redeem, the chapter on the second level of the God King. The second and third tribulations of 8 tribulations life form, require 500 reward points to redeem, the second level of the God King realm. There were so many dense and numerous inheritance information. Luo Feng read through them all. A perfect level inheritance, the second level of the Divine King, requires about 10,000 reward points. Special inheritance, the chapter of the second level of the Divine King, requires about 3,000 points. For a top-level inheritance, the second-level chapter of the Divine King is worth about 500 points, and the ultimate chapter is worth about 10,000 points. Middle-level inheritance, Ultimate Divine King chapter, only 2,000 points. Luo Feng had a clearer understanding of the exchange prices of these inheritances, and he also understood how much wealth it was that his master Di Chu gave him: 8 tribulations life form, 72 swords of annihilation, and all the chapters up to the ultimate realm of the Divine King for free. According to the infinite space exchange value, it is about 20,000 reward points. No wonder the masters of the 2 ancient countries on the origin continent think that this treasure land is the most ordinary one. Luo Feng thought that it was too difficult for them to earn reward points. And in the 2 ancient countries, they can easily learn the superior inheritance. What still attracts them in the infinite space should be the perfect inheritance and the special inheritance. But these 2 inheritances are too expensive, and it's too difficult to obtain the reward points. Luo Feng is very clear about this. He reached the ultimate will of the God King with his body in the Chaos Realm and received a reward of 10,000 points. But according to what Luo Feng knew, if it was a God King, and a person at the first level reached the will of the God King's ultimate level, the reward would only be 1,000 points. Therefore, for those ancient beings, it is extremely difficult to exchange for the special inheritance of the second level of the God King. But the ancient beings still have their intentions here. Opening up the 2 paths of the Great Tao and the will of the heart were too difficult for the God Kings. It was so difficult to comprehend the existing branches of the Great Tao, and it would be many times more difficult to open up a new branch of the Great Tao. Ancient beings in the infinite space usually rely on hunting local creatures to accumulate reward points. Although each local creature must be killed many times, it takes a long time to accumulate about 5 points. But as long as the time is long enough, killing 10 or 100 of them, eventually you can accumulate enough reward points. Luo Feng did not hesitate to exchange for 3 more special inheritances. Of course, they were all chapters of the first level of the Divine King realm. The introductory chapter of Life Evolution Diagram, Special Inheritance, requires 30 reward points to redeem, the first level of the Divine King. This is an inheritance that is completely centered on the origin of life. Although it cannot bring into play Luo Feng's invisible and formless ability, the level of detail in the study of life is even better than that of World Life Form. The first transformation of Mixed Cave Beast Body, special inheritance, requires 30 reward points to redeem the first level of the God King. This is an inheritance centered on the great Tao of destruction origin, which can be cultivated into an indelible and tyrannical body with extremely strong destructive power. The first chapter of The Wanderer of Destruction, the special biography, requires 30 reward points to redeem the chapter of the first level of the God King. This is the path of pursuing ultimate destruction. Now, I have 2 special inheritances on the origin of life, world life body, and life evolution chart, and I also have 2 special inheritances on the origin of destruction, mixed cave beast body, and destruction wanderer. But according to the description above, the special inheritance can be exchanged to the ultimate level of God King at most. Luo Feng also discovered this problem. Perfect and special inheritances are capped at the chapter of the ultimate divine king. Want to go higher? You need the Creator to teach you personally. The superior inheritance does contain content that surpasses the ultimate realm of the God King. No matter what, at least I am in the God King stage, and my accumulation can be deeper. Luo Feng was too poor before, so he had to spend his reward points sparingly, but now he is rich, so he can make the conditions of each stage as good as possible. As for the perfect inheritance, the threshold for cultivation is too high. If you force yourself to cultivate without reaching the threshold, there will be many consequences. Luo Feng will not be blindly confident. I hope that with the help of these special inheritances, my life form can be further improved. Luo Feng has been practicing for 100 centuries, and has accumulated a deep understanding of the Trinity form, and has realized 6 different Trinity forms. I don't know if I can comprehend the most perfect form of the 10 directions world in the Chaos realm. Luo Feng is now working towards this goal. The form of the 10 directions world contains the mysteries of the 6 branches of life. Theoretically speaking, it is possible to comprehend the 6 branches if they all reach the peak of the Chaos realm. But in reality, even if one becomes a God King and masters 3 or 4 branches, it is still difficult to comprehend the form of the 10 directions world. Only when all 6 branches are comprehended can one comprehend the form of the 10 directions world more easily. As a Chaos Realm cultivator, Luo Feng had not mastered any branch of the avenue, and it was extremely difficult for him to comprehend the forms of the 10 directions world by force. Even if Luo Feng's spiritual will had reached the ultimate realm of the God King, he had many special inheritances, and had taken the Hunyuan crystal spirit fruit and the Qingling spirit liquid. It was still a very difficult goal. Using a low-level realm to force a high-level secret method. Even if it fails, it is also a tempering of understanding. Luo Feng is very peaceful and can work hard in this direction. Even if you fail in the end, you have trained your understanding, which is also a gain. Fengzhong City. Mo Yuqingyan and his wife received an extremely warm reception from the Zhong family. Zhong Yunch had never been so glorious before. They stayed for a long time at the invitation of many relatives and friends before finally saying goodbye to them. It's time to go to Huyang City. On a flying boat, Mo Yuqingyan and his wife stood in front of the cabin, and there were some followers in the cabin. I was originally planning to stay in Fengzhong City for 10 or 20 days, but who would have thought that I would stay there for more than 1,000 days? Mo Yuqingyan sighed. There is no way. His wife Zhong Yunch smiled and said, you can see that there are too many royal clans. Even the most important relatives and friends are numerous. There are many invitations, and my father and I can't refuse them. Mo Yuqingyan nodded and looked at Morosa. Second master, how long will it take us to get to Huyang City? About a day, Morosa said casually. If he could fully display his strength, he would be there in just a few words. Father, elder brother, and others have been waiting for us for a long time. Mo Yuqingyan is also eager to go home. As a cultivator, becoming a Taoist couple is a very private matter and there is no need to inform parents. However, both Mo Yuqingyan and Zhong Yunch's families have very deep friendships, so after they became Taoist companions, they both went to visit their parents and elders. Call. When the flying boat was traveling through the void, a shadow in the void was staring at the flying boat from afar. They hid in Fengzhong City for so long. Shadow was quite angry. After all, Fengzhong City was the place where Fengzhong God King lived and the ancestral land of the tribe. Naturally, They had arranged a powerful formation at all costs. He would naturally not take action in the city. The shadow silently traveled through the void and followed the flying boat. The flying boat hurried on its way. Morosa sat there leisurely, enjoying the service of his disciple and his wife, while Mo Qingyang and his wife helped pour wine and chatted. Suddenly, the originally leisurely Morosa frowned slightly. According to his perception, there was a shadow hidden inside the space layer approaching rapidly. The means of this shadow were definitely not comparable to those of ordinary Chaos Realm. Not good. Morosa was shocked. Judging from the means of this shadow, it was not like an ordinary Chaos Realm. It was either a God King or a Chaos Realm Transcendent. How could a strong person chase this flying boat? I am so low-key and never reveal my strength. My disciple and his wife are even weaker. Is it because of the Master that we are implicated? Morosa made the first guess. Master, there is a being who is suspected to be a Chaos Realm Transcendent or even a God King level being, and he is going to attack us. If you don't come out, I won't be able to hide my strength, Morosa immediately telepathically transmitted. Oh? Attack you? Luo Feng stopped practicing, and most of his consciousness was focused on the mark on the palm of the black jade green rock. Suddenly, Mo Qingyang was a little surprised. He sensed that the water drop mark left on the palm of his master suddenly turned into a drop of water and flew out. What is this? Zhong Yunj, who was standing by, was also surprised to see the drop of water that appeared out of thin air. Suddenly, a blurry shadow passed through the cabin of the flying boat and was about to pass over Mo Qingyang, Zhong Yunj and Mo Luosa. Very brave. Luo Feng's voice rang out. The drop of water suddenly expanded and turned into a water drop cage, instantly enveloping the blurry shadow. This shadow was trapped inside and forced to show up. The shadow was quite surprised. Luo He? I didn't expect that Luo He actually had a clone guarding his disciples. You really care about your disciples. Completely concealing his aura and identity, Luo Feng couldn't recognize the other party's identity. The other party's aura did not match the information from the strong men of the origin continent, and it was obvious that he was deliberately hiding himself. You are hiding so carefully, you a killer? Luo Feng knew very well that there were some ancient beings in the origin continent who would take on some assassination missions. After all, it was a fast way to earn resources. I won't hide it from you. I am a member of the Shadow Heaven Realm. Shadow said, since you, Luo He, are here, I will give you face and come in my true form. Let's see if you can protect your servants and your disciples. As soon as the words fell, the water drop cage suddenly shrank, completely erasing the shadow inside in an instant. The water drop then transformed into Luo Feng's figure. Master. Morosa immediately bowed respectfully. Master. Mo Qingyang immediately bowed. Greetings, the Guardian. Zhong Yunj was also a little nervous. This was her first time seeing the legendary Her Great Sage. Luo Feng was looking outside from afar and could feel a terrifying force descending not far ahead. The old guy's true form was coming. This video will end here.